Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's Disney related video. In today's video we're continuing to talk about the Walt Disney World Resort hotels. So if you missed the last video in that series, which was talking all about the value resorts, I'll put a link up in a card there for you. But today we are talking about the moderates. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at this piece of paper that has all this information on it, just so I can give you guys as much information as possible about the moderate resorts. So the moderate is like the middle level of resorts at Walt Disney World. So they're more expensive than the values, but they you get more for your money. So the rooms are a little bit bigger. They're in not like nicer areas, but more convenient areas, I would say. They all have a table service restaurant, which is like a sit-down meal, as well as a food court. And then they have other amenities that are like specific to the resort. But without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to go through each of the resorts. I'm going to say the price that it starts at as of today, which is June 24th. And then I'll go over all of the views of the different, the views that you can choose from when you're booking a room, and the name of the restaurants, and then any other tidbits of the resorts that I've stayed at. I stayed at two different moderate resorts. So the first is Caribbean Beach, which I've stayed there 4 times, I think. I think it's the resort that I've stayed at the most. So it starts at $172 per night. It is currently under refurbishment, which is really important to mention, because there's a lot of refurbishment going on, because they are adding the gondola system that should be done mid-2019, and the Riviera Resort is going right next to it, which is a new Disney Vacation Club resort that's coming in the next few years. I'll put in the exact date in there for you. But they're also redoing the check-in location and all of the food. So right now there's only a food truck that's called the Centertown Food Truck, and yeah, it's not the best situation right now, so I would probably recommend not staying there until the renovations are done, just because it's a bit of a mess, because it used to be that you would check in over here, and then there was the loop of the resort, and so you would have to walk across the road to get to the loop, and then you could take a bus that would take you to the right area. But now I think that's all going to be within the loop, which will be really nice when it's done, but as of right now isn't the nicest. All of the different buildings are themed to different countries in the Caribbean. So there's Aruba, Jamaica, Trinidad North, Trinidad South. I can't even remember what else there is, but I love that resort, and I love how colorful it is and just vibrant and makes you feel like you're in the Caribbean. So it's in the Epcot Resort area, which the gondola will take you to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You can get a standard view with a 5th sleeper that's a pull down trunk bed, I think you would call it. Water or pool view, a king bed, a water or pool view 5th sleeper, and a preferred room, and then the pirate rooms, either preferred or water view. So the pirate rooms are special. There's maps on the bedspreads and on the carpet, and if you have kids who love Pirates of the Caribbean or just pirates in general, it would be a really cool room to stay in. It does come at an additional cost, but the pool in Caribbean Beach, the main pool, is themed to Pirates of the Caribbean, so it's kind of fitting to that theme. It would be really fun. I have a soft spot for Caribbean Beach, and I remember on not my last trip, but in 2015, I was like, Ethan, like, we should stay here because I love it so much, and it, like, wasn't the greatest. Another thing to note about the moderate resorts, with the exception of one, there's, like, the main bus stop, and then there are stops all the way around, like, the resort, which can be nice because you get closer to your room, like, dropped off at night, but it can be not so nice when you're at a stop that's like midway and the buses get full before they get to you, so you have to wait for additional buses and it can take a little while. So that is something to consider as well. Next is Coronado Springs. It's in the Animal Kingdom area and rooms start at $185 per night. This resort is also undergoing refurbishment. So they are building a new tower that will be like a convention center because Coronado Springs already has a convention center, that it'll be more rooms kind of just to expand that. I don't think it's as disruptive as Caribbean Beach because it doesn't impact like the food building, but you may want to go with another one of the resorts once I get there, if you don't want to deal with renovations. I think I already said the area. It starts $185 per night. So you can get a standard view, water view room, preferred view, king bed, preferred room king bed, water view king bed, a junior suite that has two queen beds and a queen sofa, a junior suite that has a junior suite king that has one king and the queen sofa bed, a preferred one bedroom suite that comes with a king instead of two queens and a sofa. The king comes with a garden or lake view, and then an executive suite that is two queen beds and one king bed. The quick service area is called Pepper Market, and the sit-down one is La Ventanas for breakfast and lunch, and Maya Grill for dinner. I've never stayed there. My mom has stayed there when she went for work, so it was staying like convention center type thing. It looks appealing to me, like the theme is appealing because it's like Coronado and like Mexican, and the pool looks really cool. Just the like Animal Kingdom area hasn't really appealed to me before. I just like being a little bit more central, but I'd definitely be open to staying there. Next is the Port Orleans Resort. So there's actually two resorts. There is Port Orleans Riverside and Port Orleans French Quarter. So sometimes they share a bus and they are like connected that you can walk between them. Also, to go back to Caribbean Beach, you can get transportation is by bus, but soon will be gondola. Coronado Springs is only bus. Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter is bus or a boat to Disney Springs. So I've stayed at Port Orleans Riverside. There are two kind of like sections of the resort. So there's the Magnolia Mansions, which are like old southern mansions, like really, really pretty, a bit older style room, I would say. And then the other area is called Alligator Bayou, so it's a little more rustic in style, and that's where I've stayed. That was what we requested. So you can request, but it's not like guaranteed, like you're not paying for a specific section. It would just be a request that you could put in. So the Port Orleans Riverside starts at $206 per night. You can get a standard view, a garden view, a standard view with a fifth sleeper, pool view, garden view with a fifth sleeper, king bed, river view, and a preferred room, which is two queen and one child pull down. Royal, and then there are royal rooms, which are themed more to like the princesses. Very subtle, very beautiful, and then they have the scene of the like bayou from Princess and the Frog, and they have like fiber optic fireworks on the headboard. That'd be really cool. So they have a royal room with a river view, standard view, garden, or pool view room. The food, the quick service is called Riverside Mill, and then the table service is Boatwright's Dining Hall. when I stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, I found it very confusing because there's like the whole section of Alligator Bayou that all of the buildings look the same. So it wasn't quite the same as Caribbean Beach, where they're all like color coded basically, so you could kind of tell when you were going in a different direction. But we found it very difficult to like find our room from the bus stop. Like we could figure it out from the main building home, like back to the room. So we would walk to the main building, like ready to go for the day, get some coffee or muffins or whatever for breakfast, and then head to the main bus stop from there. And that was what worked for us. And I wish I kind of, like, it's a beautiful resort. Like the gardens, the greenery, like it just is really, really pretty, that I kind of wish we like wandered around a little bit more. But that was our first trip together, so I was like, Ethan, you need to see everything. Trip, just the two of us, I should say. So then there is Port Orleans French Quarter. So rooms start at $206 per night. You can get a standard view, garden view, river view, pool view, or king bed. The quick service, like food court area, is called Sassagoula Floatworks, and their table service is the Riverside one, so they don't have a specific one. It is only one bus stop because it is a much more quaint resort, and most importantly, you can get beignets there, which I've never had, but I might be having them soon. And that's all I have for that one. And the next one is kind of different because it's like at a deluxe kind of, but it's considered a moderate, and that's the cabins at Fort Wilderness. So it's like the campground, so you could bring a tent or a trailer, but these are specific cabins. They start at $333 per night. So they're in the Magic Kingdom resort area, so you can get to Magic Kingdom by bus, or by boat, and then everywhere else by bus. So all of the cabins come with one queen bed, one bunk bed, one double sleeper sofa. But they have like more in the room. Like it'd be a good resort if you want to do a lot of cooking, because you have like a stovetop, a microwave oven, dishwasher, plates, and everything like that. That'd be good for wanting to stay in your room and doing the cooking without paying for like a villa in the deluxe level. So the food is a little bit different. It has a lot more options because I think Fort Wilderness is considered like a deluxe. I'm not sure like about the prices for the campgrounds because I don't know what that's included in, but I'll find out if I get to it. So there's table service is Trails End. There's the Chuck Wagon, which is a food truck. P&J's Southern Takeout, which is the quick service, I believe, because it'd be like takeout. They have Hoop-Dee-Doo Musical Review, which is a dinner show, and if you're on the Disney dining plan, it is 2 meal credits, but it's a whole like show, and you get your food, and it's all you can eat, and stuff like that. And then there's Mickey's Backyard Barbecue, that's a table service that is a character meal as well. And that's it. So the moderates are really nice. I feel like they aren't as family, like obviously families are going to be everywhere in Walt Disney World, but they aren't as family oriented as the value resorts. So they feel a little bit like more spacious, a little bit more relaxing. It's nice like to go just as a couple. Like I've stayed there with my family. It's really nice. I would recommend it. And so in the last video, I talked about how we wanted to stay. We considered Art of Animation when Ethan and I were just going, because I love The Little Mermaid, and we wanted to stay in the Little Mermaid rooms. But with the, there was like a room discount, so for each level of resort, there's a different percentage discount, and it'd be like 10% for the value, 15% for moderate or something. And with the discount, it was actually cheaper to, or like a very small amount more to stay at a moderate resort, which I just thought was a little bit nicer. And it's not as in-your-face Disney. The values are very Disney, like with larger than life statues and everything like that. The moderates are a bit more subtle. And Caribbean Beach is kind of like Polynesian light-ish, but not right now. But the renovated rooms at Caribbean Beach are amazing. I love them from when we stayed there in 2015. But that is it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. If you have any questions about the moderate resorts, let me know in the comments below. And if you've stayed at a moderate resort, let me know what you thought and where you stayed, because I'd love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.